Bowling Green and Warren County boast a vibrant economy with numerous career opportunities. But we're not all work and no play. With more than 30 county and Bowling Green city parks and recreation facilities, and miles of greenways trails perfect for walking, jogging, and cycling, our community has no shortage of leisure opportunities. Our local public and private properties cater to a variety of tastes and include amenities such as dog parks, golf courses, aquatic resources, community gardens, libraries, indoor and outdoor sports amenities, picnic shelters, playgrounds, and more. But there's no reason to stop there. We're a growing community, and as such, our parks and rec facilities should grow too. The comprehensive plan sets aside various objectives to keep our fun side in focus. These objectives include action items that encourage setting aside space for future parks, the protection and enhancement of the tree canopy, the development of conservation subdivisions, the construction of bicycle and pedestrian ways, and the provision of public access along the county's blueways. Part of being a blossoming community means providing opportunities for leisure and activity for people of all ages and abilities. While Bowling Green and Warren County have a good foundation of recreation, our continued growth gives us good reason to keep finding ways to have fun.
Session 5 is dealing with the parks and recreation element of the Focus 2030 Comprehensive Plan. So first we'll just look at our one and only goal is to provide all residents and visitors of Warren County with quality parks and recreational facilities and services. The objectives under that goal, PR1, provide parks and recreational facilities and programs appropriate to accommodate Warren County's future population. We'll take a closer look at that, what that means here in just a second. PR2, seek equitable ways to distribute the cost of open space and recreational facilities necessary to serve new development between the private and public sectors. PR3, continue to implement the Greenbelt System Master Plan and other programs that support bicycle and pedestrian recreation and mobility. PR4, make Bowling Green and Warren County a premier community for bicycling. And PR5, promote a diversity of recreational water-based activities and programs as well as waterfront uses that are appropriate to and compatible with the environment, character, and long-term sustainability of the county's blueways. I'm going to circle back around to PR2, talking about the equitable ways to distribute the cost of open space, recreational facilities, and so on between public and private sectors. There is part of the comprehensive plan element that suggests that 6% of all development will be set around as park spaces, and then the city and county will take that over as public facilities, maybe. That has not been followed, nor is the desire, I think, of the local community. However, we are seeking ways to continue to address that. Often developers will contribute, either dedicate space or they will contribute to adjacent parks and or greenways to connect to those parks, which goes into PR3. We are currently updating our bicycle and pedestrian master plan. Has kind of changed names a bit as it's evolved, and that we currently have a draft of that document that should be released very soon, and that will help outline and focus on projects that will help create a better, more cohesive greenway system and connect our sidewalks and all of that good stuff. Premier community for bicycling. We got a long way to go to be a premier community for bicycling. However, we are making some very serious recent efforts in that regard. And then the last one, blueways, we'll mention that more here in just a second as well. So let's look at statistics, what the National Recreation Parks Association, Park Association, sets as a kind of a standard. So You need 5 acres of parkland for every 1,000 people, and then you need about 1 park for every 2,277 people. So Warren County today, looking at the 2020 census, which is the most recent count, 131,000 people. We actually think we're a little higher than that, but that's okay. So that would just equate to a standard need of about 655 acres of parkland and about 58 parks. What we have today is about 1,800 acres of parkland and about 47 parks. But then also I want to mention public schools, public school land. We have about 624 acres of public school land and about 28 public school locations. So why do I include those? Warren County, City of Bowling Green is very good at partnering with both the city and the county school systems, and they have been very kind and generous to the community as well. So a lot of our schools are used for recreational programs after school. They also, many of them have greenways through them, and then we have, the county park system, for example, maintains some of the county schools properties that have to do with the recreational programs, and so there's a great partnership here and has been for a while. So while not exactly a park, the public schools do provide public land that is used for parks and recreational activities. So those I think do count, though it's maybe not a one-for-one, but it does count. So in total, we have about 2,461 acres of public lands. That does include a state park like Shanty Hollow, and about 75 public properties available for different activities. Not all developed and not all easily accessible. We'll talk about more of that in a minute. But just wanted to show those standards to say that we do kind of meet certainly the acreage. We're really close on just parks alone. You add the schools, and we meet that minimum, exceed that minimum standard need. So looking and forward to 2030, the end of the life of the comprehensive plan, the latest population projection we have from the Kentucky State Data Center indicates we'll be at about 157,000 people. So 157,000 people equates to about 785 acres of parkland and 69 parks. So we still be within those current recommendations from the National Recreation and Park Association. Though the number of parks at that point might be getting a little close, and we probably should be looking for additional locations at that point. So some thoughts. Our numbers are good, but location and distance of people to those available parks and the accessibility of those parks and how much they're developed is also important. So one of our greenways priorities, bicycle and pedestrian master plan, Bike Walk BG, is to provide additional connections to parks and schools to the greater connected greenway system. So we have a city loop. We want to create the most contiguous miles of greenway, which provide not only recreational opportunities, but transportation to get to those destinations and serve that wider geography. Would direct everyone to the resources section of the Session 5 webpage, where we have links to our Bike Walk BG app that shows our existing and proposed trails that show the whole system. And then another piece I don't want overlooked is the sidewalk system that is in place in our community and growing is trying to make sure those sidewalks are connected with the greenway system as well. And again, kind of that contiguous system of transportation for walking and biking is connected together and thought of as one system. So Blueways development or Waterways Enhancements, there has been recent efforts to do a web map app for that as well. You can also find that in the Session 5 resource page where we're going out and reassessing our existing Blueways infrastructure for whether it be kayak or canoe drags, put-ins, boat launches, those types of things. And we're identifying those locations, identifying needed improvements, and trying to figure out ways to improve those facilities. Some of those improvements are being done by stormwater. Some of those are being done by grants, so improvements are being made there. The other thing is having a variety of recreation and program types. Maybe just out of the loop, but 20 years ago, or certainly 10 years ago, never heard of pickleball, for example. And lacrosse I knew about and heard of, but it wasn't very popular. And both of those are very popular today. So creating those types of facilities to kind of address all the different variety of sports and recreation activities is important. So we do pretty well at indoor and outdoor sports facilities, developing those in a variety of locations. Nature and adventure activities is kind of what's being focused on more here lately with kayaking, canoeing, mountain biking. We've always had a strong disc golf community here in Bowling Green, but just others kind of nature and adventure activities are more and more development, which being more and more developed, which leads me to the last thought here was the Riverfront development. City of Bowling Green has been very active in pursuing grants for Riverfront development and has been successful in getting a National Parks grant to develop the riverfront, Barron River, down at the kind of the foot of downtown, if you will, down by the medical center and the BGMU water facility. So big plans coming there, and hopefully we'll be able to develop a more of a recreational outdoor park there. No specific plans yet, but should be coming really soon. So next up, we will focus on community facilities in session 6, and then in session 7 will be a transportation. We'll do that in combination with our Metropolitan Planning Organization Technical Advisory Committee. We'll have a public input and discussion session. Hopefully we'll have more details in the coming weeks, but that is scheduled for August 21st at 5:30 p.m. The Neighborhood Community Services Community Room at 701 East Main Avenues at the top of the hill, the hospital hill, by the water tower. Just kind of go to the lower entrance at the back of the building. So if you go around the building, start to go back down the hill, or then you go to that lower entrance, or you can park up at the top of the hill and walk down. But that will be at 5:30 on August 21st. So that's all we have for this video. Look forward to the next one.